cover or learn MS 900. Guys, in this course we have total of 4 modules. Today our agenda is to complete all the 4 modules. As in this course, the first module that we will cover is describe cloud concept. Guys, if we talk about this module, in the examination, there will be almost 10 to 15% questions that you will get 10 to 15% questions will come from this module in the exam. Next module is describe core Microsoft 365 services and concept. Now, from exam point of view, this module is very important because 50 to 55% questions actually come from this module in the exam. Our next module is that we will cover is explain security, compliance, privacy and trust in Microsoft 365. Security, compliance, privacy and trust. Now, from the exam point of view, if I talk about this module, so there will be 15 to 20% questions will appear in the examination. Now, our last module of this course will be describe Microsoft 365 pricing and the support. Now, in the examination, 10 to 15% questions are asked from this module. So each module is very important for both knowledge and exam preparation. Guys, I am Ashok Kumar Pandey. I am a trainer, Microsoft certified trainer, and I have almost of 20 years of experience in IT. I am Microsoft MCSC certified, MCSC 2003, MCITP 2008, MCSA, MCSC 2012. I did my MCSC in 4 different tracks in 2012. Then I am also MCSA 2016. I am cloud certified, Microsoft Teams certified, as well as I am A plus, N plus, Server plus, CompTIA IT Fundamental Cloud Plus certified. Welcome all of you guys in my channel. If you are eager to learn IT related concept, let me know the topic you want. I will feel happy to assist you, and requesting all of you, if you like my videos, please subscribe me and keep updated. Thanks. So now guys, if we talk about our module number 1, there are a lot of topics that we are going to cover in this module, and after finishing my this module I will focus on the lab as well. Now in the module 1 we will understand the cloud computing, the benefit of using cloud services, and the cloud service types. So the main agenda will be to understand cloud computing, benefit, and cloud service types. So these are the agenda of our module number 1. Now when we talk about cloud computing, so what is cloud computing? So we are going to understand first this. What is cloud computing? Cloud computing actually allow you to deliver different services, different computing services. Different cloud services. It may be it may be servers, it may be a storage, it may be your networking, it may be database, it may be software, it may be some intelligence, analytics, many more. Many more. So delivering of all these services over internet. This is what clouds computing is all about. Cloud computing actually allow you to use the services hosted by other people over the network, accessed by anyone. What you need is to just subscribe. In traditional method, you need to maintain your own CPU, your own memory, your own storage, your own data center. You need to maintain your storage, your networking, each and everything. But when we talk about cloud computing, you just need to rent these services. Rent as per your time, your duration for which you want to subscribe. You can shift your responsibilities to the cloud service provider, CSP. You can shift your responsibilities to the cloud service provider. Cloud service provider actually responsible for maintaining the underlying infrastructures, platform, services for you. CSP now there are lot of advantages. We will discuss them in coming sessions. Cloud service offer variety or wide range of services to make your business running constantly, efficiently. Whether it's a small organization, a startup company, or even a large enterprise companies, that doesn't matter. Now, there are some very common service types offered by cloud computing. What are those? Compute service. Compute services. Compute services such as like your database, your VMs, virtual machines, your web applications, web applications, and there are a lot of services that you can actually host in the cloud instead of hosting them on your local hardwares. Now, if we talk about communication services, communication services that provide communications between the users. One of the example is Exchange Online. Exchange Online, Microsoft Team, which you can use for sending emails, communicating with other people. So as you know, the Exchange Online, which is a email service, and Teams, you can use it for instant messaging, video conferencing, screen sharing, calling, video callings. You can share your documents, your collaborations. Now, there are storage service. Storage service that provide you storage platform. You can store your data. One of the example is Azure Storage and Microsoft OneDrive. Azure Storage, Microsoft now search search service. So it provides you search engine capability. So one of the example is Azure search, which you can use to search your applications, data storage, search service provides search functionality into your custom applications. Now, there are productivity services. Productivity services, which actually allow you to work and collaborate. Microsoft Office 365 is an example. Is an example of productivity service. It actually provides you comprehensive collaborations platform for your entire organization. Now guys, when we talk about the infrastructures, cost is associated with your computing, your infrastructure. Major concern. One of the major concern is to meet your requirement and maintain your cost. So there are two concepts. One is called capital expenditure. In short, we call it capex. We call it capex. Capex means you need to buy or upgrade your physical hardware instantly if required. It includes your servers, your network equipment such as like routers, switches, and many things, firewalls, storage. Now, it may also include purchasing of building for your data center space. You also need to think about the cooling. Your power. Lot of things are there which you need to consider when you need to set up your own environment. Now, if we talk about cloud, everything is already pre-configured. Everything is set up already. You don't need to think about your underlying infrastructure since they are already set up. Now, another concept that we have is the operating expenditure. In short, we call it OPEX. Operating expenditure. These costs actually include when you perform normal business operations. For example, electricity consumed, your your employee cost, your employee cost, who manage your IT infrastructures, your support systems, and lots. For example, office space. So these are the different type of cost that are actually we need to keep in our mind. Now, if we talk about on-premise computing cost. On-premise means your own infrastructure. You are responsible for managing each and everything. It's your own data center. Server cost. So when it comes to server cost, that's mean we are talking about the cost of the hardware, the components, hardware components. So when we purchase our servers, we Also keep in mind the, the fault tolerance design and the redundancy. Such as server clustering, redundant power supply, uninterruptible power supplies, UPS, and if you need to add new servers, as you know, are you need to consider your capital expenditure. So when you design server cost, you need to keep in mind your fault tolerance, like your cluster. Redundant power supply. Now, storage cost. Storage cost. So you need to buy the storage based on the type of applications and the level of fault tolerance you need required. Centralized storage performance, the capacity, so you need to think about your storage cost. Again, capital expenditure is coming. Now, network. Network cost. So you need to buy the different network devices such as like switches, access point, routers, your firewalls, your cables. So when you will buy these things, again capital expenditure is coming into the picture. Now, DR solution. DR solution, business continuity and disaster recovery. BC and business continuity and disaster recovery solutions. So when you talk about this, you have to think about your sites. You want to go for hot site, hot site. That's mean you need to expend a lot of money if you think about hot site. You want to go for warm site or you want to go for the cold site. So when you are planning for your business continuity and the disaster recovery cost, you must keep your backup solutions ready. You must prepare your sites accordingly so that you can instantly bring your business back to the normal operations. Now, if you are planning to bring your business back to normal operations, accordingly, you have to plan your disaster recovery. Now, if we talk about data center infrastructure cost, data center, so there are a lot of costs associated with maintaining your own data center, such as like floor space, cooling, building maintenance, electricity. So these are all floor space, the cooling, and what about your technical people? So you need the expertise people who can actually maintain your environment, to perform the IT related operations such as like deployment, installations, managing of your systems, your databases, your data centers, so that they can manage your environment. So these are all the cost related to your on-premise data center. Now, if we talk about cloud computing cost, Cloud computing cost. So lot of costs, there are many costs are which are actually associated with your on-premise data centers are shifted to cloud or cloud service provided. You don't need to think about the physical hardware and the data center cost when you talk about the cloud computing. Cloud computing actually has a different set of costs. They are actually OPEX, not CAPEX. They are cloud computing costs are here. You don't need to think about at all. You don't need to worry about the capital expenditure. Only this portion. If you talk about the on-premise, you have to consider, you have to think about both. Now, when we talk about cloud computing cost, lease. You can lease a cloud-based server. And this is actually based on pay per use. Then social charge or a skills charge based on uses. You say uses or you say demand. Instead of fixed hardware. So it can be based on number of users, based on CPU uses amount, or you say CPU uses. It can also include or it can be based on the RAM allocated, the IO of input output operations per seconds. Your storage space, it can be based on storage space as well. So there are different way of calculating billings when we talk about cloud computing. So there is no fixed way. Different service, different way of calculating your cost. You can lease your softwares or any customized features. So you can restrict the user from misusing the cloud services. If you are using pay per use model, you have to strictly monitor your user and must ensure that they are not misusing your services. Remember, the moment you provision resources, billing starts. And until unless you deprovision any resources, billing will be charged. So it is your responsibility. If you provision any resource and if you don't need any unnecessary resource, you need to deprovision it. It's your sole responsibility to deprovision the resources when they are not in use. And by doing this, you can actually manage your cost more efficiently. Billing can be billing or it can be user basic or for organizations. So cloud-based billings are designed for both organizations and end users. Either the organizations or the user is actually billed for the services they used. You can scale, customize, or provision your computing services, resources based on your requirement. You can provision anything like storage, softwares. Now, if we talk about cloud computing model, cloud computing model, so we have different type of cloud computing models. We have public cloud, we have private cloud, we have hybrid. Now, when we talk about public cloud, there are two variants in public cloud. One, shared public cloud, and another one is dedicated public cloud. Now, when we talk about shared public cloud, different companies share common resource such as like your email within the same cloud service provider's environment, and they will be aware of their own cloud service account, and those accounts are actually known as tenant. So each company is treated as tenant or known as tenant when it comes to cloud. And different organizations can share the same service environment managed by the cloud service providers, and only the cloud service provider CSP who are actually responsible for managing your services, they will know the different account running within the same cloud. Different organizations cannot know. Two organizations cannot know what is actually going in the background. Only the service account, only the service provider, cloud service provider knows that how many organizations have subscribed for online exchange online. As it organizations, you or me cannot understand. We are isolated. Now we have dedicated public cloud. Shared public cloud is good for the small organizations, small businesses. In that you can actually we share our computing resources with other cloud subscribers. But when we talk about dedicated public cloud, it is actually designed for enterprise organizations. Enterprise organizations are more concerned about the performance. So sometimes they prefer to go for the dedicated physical infrastructures, which will be reserved for only that particular organizations, and those organizations can scale. They they support on demand sandbox environment. But if we talk about the cost, dedicated public cloud might be higher than the shared public cloud. But dedicated public cloud actually offer you better security, performance and customizations as compared with that of shared public cloud. Public cloud offer different advantages. For example, lower cost, high reliability, no maintenance. Now, if we talk about private cloud, private cloud means you create your cloud environment in your own data center. And you can provide your self-service access. You are responsible for purchasing, maintaining of all hardwares, softwares, security. So you are managing everything. So if you go with the private cloud, you have to think about the cost of underlying infrastructure, everything. So this is one of the one of the reason most of the organizations, they are actually shifting from private cloud to public cloud. And maintaining a private cloud requires skilled and expertise people. But if you go with the private cloud, you will have more flexibility, more control. Now, if we talk about the hybrid cloud is actually combines both public and private. Public plus private. So, public plus private equal to hybrid, you can say. So, you host some of the critical services on your on-premise, and some of the public facing services you host on the public. So you can, one of the advantage of hybrid is you can protect your sensitive data, you can store your sensitive data on the on-premise cloud, and some of the services you can host it in the public cloud. So hybrid environment provide you advantages such as like control, flexibility, cost effectiveness even. Now, there are different cloud services offered by cloud service providers. You can say, right? One is IaaS, which is infrastructure as a service. Infrastructure as a service. Infrastructure as a service. It actually provide you complete control over the hardware that runs your applications. You don't need to buy your or purchase your hardware such as like your firewalls, your switch, router, storage, your servers. Now, Virtual machine is an example of IS service, VM. So if you create a virtual machine and host it on the cloud, so it is an example of your IS. You can simply, easily, quickly deploy your IS, your virtual machines. Another one model that comes into picture is PaaS, platform as a service. So you can use platform as a service for purchasing, building, testing, deploying, running your software applications. Now, actually the goal of PaaS or platform as a service is to help you create applications as quickly as possible without having to worry about the managing your underlying infrastructures. Web application is an example. Web applications. So you don't need to actually install the operating system, the web servers. So you can host your mobile applications. Now, if we talk about our next model, that is SaaS. SaaS, software as a service. Software as a service. Now, software as a service actually centrally host and manage your softwares. Now, these softwares you can actually license through your monthly or annual subscription basis. You don't need to deploy or perform the ongoing maintenance. Microsoft 365 is an example. Is an example of SaaS. Exchange Online is example. What you need to do is to get the subscriptions. Based on your convenience, you can go for the monthly or the yearly subscriptions. Now, if we talk about the privacy, so now cloud service actually or cloud services raise unique privacy questions for businesses. Different organizations in different country may have different legal obligations to ensure the privacy of their employees, customers, and the clients. So, cloud service provider, they also provide different privacy levels to meet your expectation. So you can read the cloud service providers privacy notice. You can check how cloud service provider handles disaster recovery and the business continuity. And you can consider how hosting companies actually handle your security breaches. So you can check the disclosure policy. Now, if we talk about compliance, if we talk about compliance, now even like an organization that does not protect the data could be subject to fine by one or more government or the industry regulatory bodies. And sometimes this fine can be substantial, and it can crippling a small or mid-sized business. Law or the regulations typically specify who within an organization should be held responsible for data accuracy and the security. For example, for example, Sarbanes-Oxley Act designate Chief Finance Officer CFO and the CEO as having joint responsibility for financial data. And now Gramm-Leach-Bille Act specify that the responsibility for the security lies within the entire board of the directors. So, CFO and C are responsible for financial data. And now this actually specify that the board directors they are responsible for the securities. And both are in contrast to United States Federation's Trade Commissions FTC. Now, data protections. Now, when we talk about the data protection, it is always recommended that you must use a strong password and ensure your passwords are changed regularly basis. You must ensure to set the right permissions for right people. You must ensure to assign only the permissions required to perform the certain task. So you must review the permissions you have assigned to the people on a regular basis. You must perform your auditing and monitoring on regular basis. So strong password, change the password on regular basis. After 30 days, 40 days, assign limited permissions for what is needed. And perform auditing. Always use encrypted connections. So always use HTTPS now. What are the benefits of using cloud computing? Should you use cloud computing or not? Cloud computing is cost effective, so it saves you a lot of money. So cloud computing offer you pay as you go pricing model. So there is no upfront cost involved. You pay only for the resources you use. Cloud computing is scalable. is scalable. And it supports two type of scaling: vertical scaling and horizontal scaling. Now, when we talk about vertical scaling is also known as scale up. Scale up. Scale up means you add more resources to increase the power of an existing server. For example, you add additional memory, or you add additional CPU, storage. You add more hardware to existing server. RAM, or you say CPU, faster CPU. So you are adding more. So this concept is actually known as scale up or vertical scaling. Now, when we talk about horizontal scaling, it is also known as scale out. Scale out. In this you add more servers. You are not increasing the hardware in an existing server, but you are introducing a new server. So cloud computing is more scalable. Cloud computing is elastic elastic elastic. So in any environment there might be certain change in workload. Maybe you need more resources, or there is drop in your demand. So cloud computing can add or remove resources based on your demand. To meet your current requirement. Cloud computing can allocate resources, computing resources, or decrease your computing resources as per the requirement automatically. So it can either increase so it can automatically allocate or deallocate, increase or decrease your workload, your resources based on the demand, based on the workload. Now, another is your cloud computing is always current. Always current. Now you know that in current in your on premise, after every few years you need to think about the upgradations. You have to think about the patches, software patches. So you have to upgrade your environment. You have to keep your system up to date. This is your responsibility. But when it comes to cloud computing, this is done automatically for us. So they always keep the latest and greatest tool to keep our business running. As per the requirement, they always upgrade the hardware, softwares. They replace the faulty hardware, whatever. They do it on their behalf. Now, cloud computing is reliable. It is also reliable. It's provide you it's offer data backup, disaster recovery. It's offer data backup, DR solutions, make sure you are safe. Your data is safe. So, this was our first lesson of module 1. Now,